Hello and welcome to Clever Connections podcast. My name is Alana and I'm your host. And today my guest is Kennedy with Polished by Kennedy, and we are at her salon in Pi Beauty Loss. But before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsor today, Besame Cosmetics. Besame Cosmetics specializes in vintage style cosmetics. They've done a lot of research into colors, and today I am wearing their blush in crimson. So check out their website, Besame Cosmetics. Use my code ALANA, ALANNA, and you will get 25% off your purchase. All right, so Kennedy, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm tired, but
yeah, it's early in the morning.
It is. Let's take the first appointment and do the podcast.
Exactly.
So I'm a little embarrassed because I was going to take my nail polish off because it really chipped really bad at work this week, and I didn't have time to do that. So it's good that I have an appointment right after this.
Yeah, no judgment here. We're good. You're going to look good after this. So.
Oh, well, thank you. I trust you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, because my viewers like to know my friends.
Okay. Well, I've been in the business for about 15 years. I actually just started on my own this past summer, since June or July. So it's been fun. But yeah, I've just been doing it for so long. It was just time for me to start my own little journey. And
yeah, I started following your Instagram as soon as it started up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are such a pretty design. It's like fun just to look at like miniature little works of art on your nails.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so yeah, so how did you get started in it?
It was funny because it wasn't my choice. My family actually has been in the beauty industry for like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in Houston, Texas, and both of my parents had owned salons. My family out here also owned salons. So it's almost like inherited, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of,
yes,
what are you going to do? But when I was 16, my mom wanted me to get my license, and so I got it done. Yeah. It was kind of, when you're 16, you weren't really thinking about getting a professional license. I'm like, I want to work at a restaurant, like with like everyone else,
Ooh, that would actually, I've worked in restaurants. Be glad you didn't.
Yeah, me too. My mom's like, why would you want to do that? But, thank God for her. It's really a blessing, this kind of career, really. It got me through high school and college and paying my bills, and it's been fun.
Oh. Yeah, and you're very talented. I don't think like anyone can pick up a paintbrush and go, oh, I'm going to start painting designs and actually make it look good. I mean, maybe some people can, but I think that if you are able to do that, you have a lot of talent.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, honestly, anyone can do it. It's just a lot of practice. I mean, right? If you're willing to really
That's true.
do it. I mean, and anyone can. I mean, I wasn't really good. I mean, I sucked at painting nails. I mean, it wasn't my thing, but get better.
So is it your thing now? Is it something that you really enjoy doing, or do you have like other hobbies that kind of like, I don't want to do another nail today, I don't even want to look at it in a hand?
Right. Yeah, I mean, at one point I did, because it was on my whole life, right? Like, this is all I know. I actually never worked any other job besides in a salon. Yeah, since I was 16.
Wow.
But I did went to college. I got my bachelor's degree in anthropology.
Oh, wow.
I know, so random. So that was fun.
But if you enjoy it, then you should learn about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it was fun, but honestly, it was the college route wasn't really where I wanted to be at, even though I got my degree and everything. I did decide to go back for nursing a little bit right before COVID, but I had to take a break.
Right.
But during COVID, it actually helped me a lot, realizing where I want to be in terms of like, my age and like where I want to go and how to start again. So it was a lot of self-realization about, this is what I want to do.
So you kind of like realize you don't want to go into nursing then, or you do still?
You know what? I think nursing is it's a great field. I think it's not like a no down the road, because I still had a lot of my classes already taken. But I think as of right now, I think I want to focus on this path and see where it takes me.
Yes.
But yeah, college is always like an option down the road. But I think right now, I think I just want to focus on building this business and see where it goes from here. But yeah, besides nails, I actually dance. That's my two things I do, and that's how we met, right?
Yes, salsa and bachata.
Yes.
And I watched you dance with your husband, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so good at it." It was intimidating when I first started dancing because I'm like, "Okay, well, no one's gonna want to dance with me. I'm a beginner," but was really really nice, and I've been doing it for a year, and you guys have always been like so kind to me and always welcoming to newcomers, and not intimidating at all.
What's the best thing about being in the dancing community. It's just everyone was just so nice and welcoming, and I mean that's how I met a lot of my good friends and how I met my husband. Through dancing. So yeah, it's great. Dancing is it's a great way to release some energy and have fun. Meet a lot of great people. Meeting you, right? I mean, who would have thought I would actually be on a podcast?
Honestly, if a month ago, I never would have even thought I would have a podcast. I wanted to have a podcast, but I had no idea how to go about it. And then I made a friend, Ivan. He's behind the camera. He's probably like, "Oh my God, please don't mention me." He's like looking at me like, "Oh my God," But he helped me get started. So. It's like very interesting how life goes, and when you start to meet people and where things can take you.
I know.
So
connections, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm having like a lot of fun just talking to my friends and getting to learn about things that we can't always talk about sometimes, especially if we're dancing. The music is really loud, or if you're throwing an event at 567 with your husband, then you don't have as much time because you're the host, so you're checking people in and being the wonderful hostess that you are. And so I don't want to like take up all your time and go, hey, so
how's life? Give me the whole story. No.
Yes,
but I get it. I mean, there's a time and place, and very fortunate for you to even asking me to do this too and get my
friend.
Story
I
out.
like talking to you. You're nice. So I think everyone else would like to know a little bit about you too.
Oh, thanks.
So what brought you to Ohio then if you grew up in Houston?
So my parents got divorced. So I came out here with my mom and my siblings. So I'm out of 4. And the second oldest. We just been living here since I was like 13, 14.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ohio was definitely a big culture shock.
Yes.
For me. coming from Texas, at least, a very, diverse crowd. I mean, where we moved to was pretty diverse too, but it was different, had to do a lot of adjustment, but I'm so grateful to be here, though.
Was it good adjustment, bad adjustment? Like, how do you mean it was, like, more, it was different?
It was, so ours wintertime, during the wintertime.
Oh, yes.
In Texas, we have to bring out, the black construction paper to catch snow, to see if we can see snow, like snowflakes. That's our winter in Texas, Here, we have a whole...
That's true.
...feet of snow, and, it was a lot. So, fortunately, I wasn't driving then, so it really didn't matter. But yeah, it was definitely big cultural differences in terms of people too. Texas is like it's like a different crowd. Have you been to Texas?
I've been to Texas. Yeah,
Texas.
It can be very interesting and very very welcoming at times, and other times it's like, am I in the same country?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's going on here, but okay. And it's interesting, I think, because everyone wears cowboy boots and everyone wears those big hats. Yeah, and it's like you walk into a Western movie.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's really a lifestyle out there. But in Houston, not so much, but a lot of parts in Austin, Dallas, big rodeo show out there is really big. But yeah,
rodeos are fun, though.
Yeah. Have you? I've never been.
You've never been to a rodeo? I've been to a couple rodeos, and I actually think I went to one here.
Yeah, and I heard there's one out here.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago. I went to a little bit of a rodeo out here, and it was interesting. It was. I find like the bronco busting, all that kind of stuff, very nerve-wracking myself. So
that's entertainment, right? Anything that's.
It's what they do though for a living.
Right.
They have to do all this stuff, and we find it very entertaining because. We've never seen anything. We wouldn't dare get on a horse that big. That is.
Yeah, and you'd be okay with falling off. Like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna watch it back here.
No, I've fallen dancing before. I was sorry, I didn't mean to kick you. Yeah, actually, it was kind of funny. I have a condition where I pass out, and I passed out on one of my friends because he dipped me down to the floor and then pulled me back up real fast.
Too fast.
And I was like, what just happened?
Oh, no.
He felt bad. He thought it was his fault. I'm like, no, I have a condition. Don't worry. So
Oh, my God.
I have a few people who they will dip me, but slowly or not so far down anymore.
You would have to be like a little disclaimer. Dip me slowly.
Yeah,
Don't dip me at all.
Yeah, no one's ever dropped me though, which is the thing that scares me. It's like, don't drop me.
That's good. Yeah, once you dance long enough and you start like actually, let's say you want to perform, you get dropped a couple times. But yeah, I mean, that's fun.
You've been dropped before, I take it.
Oh yeah, I've been dropped. Yeah, dropped on my head, not by my husband or anything.
I was just gonna ask.
No,
like, do I need it? No.
No, I didn't want to put that. No, we were actually practicing, and you know, when we practice tricks and dips and stuff like that, it's bound to have some kind of fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how you get better.
Right.
That's the only way you can actually learn how to do tricks and flips and to not be afraid and eventually trust your partner, of course.
Right. And I think that's kind of the true with anything that you do is that you do have to practice and you will make mistakes and you get better from your mistakes because you learn from it. I had a friend who told me that he learned more from his mistakes than he did from his successes because he learned what not to do or how to do something better because of it.
Yeah.
But some of his successes he's kind of forgotten more than his failures because he learned more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think sometimes it's how we look at things too. You can either take something and just keep looking at the negative, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a positive by, you know, doing something different or learning from it, or saying, you know, sometimes really bad things happen, but I'm going to just keep trying to find good in life.
Right.
So
yeah, I love that. I totally agree. I mean, how else would you learn, right? And grow from the...
I guess you don't if you choose not to. I mean, you can choose to do whatever you want in life, but, you know, there are people I know who just, I don't think they have learned.
Yeah.
So I think it's a blessing that people like you and me, like we're like, okay, well, I made a mistake. I'm not going to let me down. And let's keep going on.
Move on. Let's find what's the next thing. You know, this is not going to work out. Let's find something else. Yeah.
And the other thing I think is not giving up. So because you didn't, when you started like your nail stuff, you didn't give up just because you couldn't, I don't know, draw a straight line.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I avoided it when I could. You know what I mean? Like, it was something that, it was scary, especially working on clients, and you want to make sure that like everything looks good and perfect, but nothing's perfect. I mean, especially not in the beginning.
No.
But yeah, I mean, my French is pretty now, but in the beginning, it was not. But yeah, because you have to keep going, right?
Right.
I mean, how else would you really get better from what works and what doesn't work?
Right.
And there was many times I felt like I wanted to give up nails, honestly, because it was just like, this is all I knew, you know, and I was like, I want to do something different. That's why I went to school. I want to see if there was a different path for me, but it's a blessing. It's that I'm still having this, and I kept it, and I still have it on the side just in case I need like a backup.
Right, and considering like you have your own business, and this is after COVID, where a lot of people are still struggling right now, and it's not easy. You do have to like you've worked hard at this in order to have this, so it's not like, oh well, you know, I just wished on a star.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, that's a credit to your dedication that you have made a success even after going through hardship like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, especially after COVID, I was at one of the big salons. My aunt had owned that salon, and then she had sold it last fall time. But you know, even last year, like January last year, I was already in the process of looking at different lofts, kind of like starting on my own since the beginning of, like the end of 2020, 2021 already. So that was actually the planning and the motion, you know, trying to see what works, what doesn't. And it was actually a year and a half of research and work, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course I wish it'd be like, oh, it'd be nice to have a loft the next day, but
right. it's like, okay, so this is my goal, this is what I want, this is my wish, and I'm going to work towards it by, like, the first step, like you said, research. I find doing research on something is very important. I've actually had a lot of people ask me, well, how do I start a podcast?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I did have help, obviously, but I did immediately start researching everything I could think of on the internet. I started doing, I started listening to some, seeing what formats I liked. I started researching like the details of how to upload things and all the different things that are involved.
Much to it. Yeah,
and it takes a lot of time to do this research. So it's not like something that you can just go, oh, well, you do A, B, C, D, and you're going to have a successful business. It's a matter of trial and error, too, and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely. So on A, B, C, and not back on A again. Like, it's a lot of back and forth, right?
Exactly. And then, you know, building the business is the next part. Like, you have to have your clients, and, you know, some people are not going to follow you from your other place. Some people will. Getting new clients. Those are always the difficult parts. So...
That was the hardest part. Being at a salon for so many years, I definitely built a lot of clientels that's been coming to me. And for me to leave, I was thinking about them a lot. I'm like, oh, like I feel bad because they've been coming for years, and I'm gonna move. And I'm lucky if they're able to, if they still want to continue to come with me. And fortunately, I do have so many great clients that followed me from my other locations and. You know, it was like building that trust and that the kind of client that you want to work with too. Right. You know? So it was sad, but you know, honestly, I was excited to get more new people, people that would actually fit into my lifestyle, who's willing to want to come out to a smaller one, not like those big chain, which is fine. I mean, they're great. You know,
I've actually never had my nails done before by anyone. Nope. It's going to be my first time.
Well, I was watching to your other podcast. You never had a spa either, huh?
I don't like people touching me, which is
weird
weird because I know I go out and dance, and I have done things like jiu-jitsu and karate. Oh. And yes, it took a long time for me to become comfortable with that. Yeah. But I like to know the person before I allow someone to touch me.
For sure.
And like I also have problems with asthma, so going into these big salons where everyone's getting their acrylics on and stuff like that,
I can get very overwhelming for sure.
So I noticed walking in here, there's hardly any smells at all, and we talked about that earlier. Like I let you know what was, you know, about the asthma, and you suggested gel. So you know, there's options for people too who have issues with smells. Yeah,
there's so many options nowadays, different methods of new style of nail methods coming out. I mean, acrylics is always going to be a very popular thing. It's always going to be there. People who just can't really, like, they have weaker nails. Let's say weaker nails,
weak nails,
brittle nails, biter nails. So acrylics is the best way, honestly, for them. But besides that, I mean, gels are a great addition now. Gel, dip, there's so many different ways to get your nails stronger, healthier, clean and nice, and not having to worry about damaging your nail. And that's another topic too, is like
I was just gonna ask, so like, what are some of the things we can do at home to make sure our nails are stronger and that we're not doing silly stuff to damage them, that we can, I mean, obviously one of the things is don't bite your nails, but some people have anxiety and they do, and sometimes getting them done is one way to help, you know, overcome such anxiety behavior.
So I get a lot of nail biters, and a lot of, you know, especially wintertime, it's really drying, so a lot of people do tend to bite their nails and stuff. But for me, always use cuticle oil. Okay. It's really important. And people think like, oh, you know, whatever, but cuticle oil is so important, especially now for the winter time. It's a great way to keep your nails moisturized and cuticles nice and strong. When it's soft and when it's soft, you don't want to touch it, you know, you don't want to bite it because it's nice. But definitely do not rip off the nail polish. That's the number one. And I know sometimes when you're nervous and you're, you know, things are happening, the games are happening. I get a lot of clients and I'm like, don't get mad at me. Like my nails are all, I'm like, what the heck? So I get it. And, you know, and so we have to start over again. So I have to tell my clients, like, okay, if that happens, it's okay. We can make it work again, but it takes time to let your nails grow back strong. I would say about a month. If you're consistent with it, your nails will be really good and strong and healthy, and not having to worry about breakage a lot. But that is only on your part as well. Like as a technician, we can only do so much, right? You know, we can have the perfect polish and its strength is good, but the maintaining it is up to the client after a week or two. Like I said, just wear cuticle oil every day when you can. Hand moisturizer, because I know it's really drying.
I would assume maybe like wearing gloves while you're doing dishes.
Yeah, wear gloves for everything, guys. Just gloves for dishes, doing the cleaning. It's really going to help protect the maintenance of your nail beds, especially because a lot of wear and tear. You know, people use their nails like tools, right? I mean, it happens.
Opening boxes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like I don't know anyone who does.
I don't think I even have a box cutter. Really. But you know what I mean? So people use as nails, so don't use your nails as tools. You know, keep it like how you want to maintain your hair and your lashes. Protect your nails, and that really does help, you know, to maintain. And
well, those are some really good pointers. Anything else that you can think of that you'd like to give as a tip, or maybe maybe a good way to find someone who is a good technician? How can you tell? Like you said earlier about being certified. I would assume that's a very important thing.
Yeah. So any beautician, cosmetology, like in the cosmetology where you would need a license, you need to go to state board, you know, go to school, take your test, and pass it, and then you'll get your license.
So what would be like some of the reasons someone would want to go to someone licensed versus someone, you know, oh, I'm just going to do some nails out of my home? I would assume that maybe you have to learn cleanliness if you're certified, right? Yeah,
so honestly, anywhere you go to get your nails done, they need to be licensed, honestly. I mean, that's, you know, as a profession, you would want to go to someone who's a professional.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can do a lot of DIY at home, which is great for COVID years. You know, the first 2 years it was
doing it myself is different than I'm going to go over to this person's house who's not certified. That was my question.
Well, you know, I've heard people have worked out outside their homes, which that doesn't mean they don't have their license.
That's true.
A lot of times they do, and they choose to work from their home, and flexibility and stuff like that, which is fine. Honestly, I would say, like, the only way to really know you like your person, if you go in and try and see how well your nails maintain, how is your connection with your nail technician, like if you love them, then why not go back to them, right? But if there's someone who's trying to just get in and out, and there's something wrong with that, because a lot of people are really just want their busy life. They just want to go in, they want to get their nails done, they don't need to talk, get the whole spa-like feel. And then that's a great option for them, you know. But for me, because I've been working with so many, like, close clients of mine who've been coming even through COVID years, you know, I like to take my time. Like, I like to talk to my clients. I know all my clients' stories. I mean, they tell me everything right away. So, you know, you have that connection.
Right. You make friends with the people rather than just...
just a client and just in and out, you know?
Yeah, it's not like, oh, okay, well, this is like a factory. Next.
Exactly. And there's something wrong with that, honestly. I mean, the big businesses, you know, they're a business too. And but a lot of people don't like them. You know,
you want to be treated like a person.
Yeah, you know, sometimes they don't get their nails done often. This is a one-time treat, you know, and you want to have a good experience, and I want to give that to them. And that's why I ended up deciding to go on my own, because it was just time for me to move on from what I had been with. You know, I have managed salons, I had ran salons, and then I kind of know what kind of clients I want, right? And what kind of people I want to work with, and the kind of clients that would be willing to come to me because I know I will take care of them. So, I mean, that all really matters. I mean, I know we look on Yelp or Google nowadays, and there's so many great technicians out there. You know, it's just more like, is it your style? Like the girl next to me, she's great at doing like nail art and gems and long nail art designs. If that's for you, then that's your girl, you know what I mean? But I mean, I can do that kind of stuff too, but that's not my kind of style. I like the like short maintenance, cute little short, like designs if you wanted to. I can do fun designs if you go on my Instagram. There's designs I can do, but for me, my style is more minimal, very clean, short, and that's your kind of style. Then
that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Like for somebody who's got a good style, who's certified, because you know that they're gonna have taken the sanitary. They know the sanitary procedures.
Yeah.
So one more question before I think we get going is like, if you can see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years and things go the way they want to, where would you want to be? Do you want to have your own building and have your own nails manicurist working under you, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really fun because I'd never see myself as a loft owner or even like a business owner, because it wasn't really what I was seeing myself. But because I was immersive into what I'm doing now, I'm actually able to see the bigger picture. And then the next 5 years, I do see myself growing into a bigger salon. Mostly, I want it to just be me, but I would love to have a couple people underneath me, like working there with me and stuff like that. I mean, ideally that would be nice. But yeah, I do see myself growing into a bigger salon down the road, and you can you want to go up, you want to move on and see what else you can do.
Yes, or maybe, I don't know, but maybe you have a salon where you do your nails and then you have other people working, like renting a space to people who you've selected that are good with hair or something, so you can have like a multifunctional type salon even.
Right. I feel like that is the trending right now. A lot of people are moving away from the big salons and going off from themselves. That's why I'm so appreciative of this place, because this loft helped me realize that I can go bigger. I can work with other people like-minded like me, and I can work with people who are interested in like estheticians or lash techs and hair too. So it's so broad, and I do see myself in the future in a bigger place and having great girls with me. That'd be great.
I see. I kind of see that for you too, because it just I like your personality, and you can tell. Personally, if I'm going to go get something done, I want to be treated like a person.
For
even
sure.
if you go to the doctor, you can't always choose whether they're treating you. Sometimes it's like, well, I just have to go because I'm sick, and they give me the right medicine, fine, but okay, this is something I'm choosing to go out and do, or like I need my hair done, I need my nails done, I would like a massage, but if I even get that all done in one spot from like people who are all treating me like I'm a human being, and somewhere where I feel like I'm a friend and I can trust, I'd feel way more comfortable going to people like that, and being able to also support a small business and someone then I feel that was my friend is really important to me. So
thank you. I'm sure so many people appreciate that too. I mean, business is what's gonna keep the economy going, really, and then people like you who can go and support small businesses, I think that's what makes it.
I don't have a problem shopping in a larger chain or anything like that either, but if I can, I'd rather like make sure the person who I know is getting my money than somebody who's maybe hardly paying their employees much at all, and then okay, well, they're getting like $5 an hour plus their tip, and the rest of this money that I just paid is going to go to this major corporation. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have today. I really appreciate having you on here, Kennedy. Thank you for talking with me today.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I had so much fun. This is great.
I'm excited, and I will be sharing pictures on Instagram of my nails, and then what I'm going to also do is share your Instagram and whatever contact information you would like out there. If people wanted to schedule with you, we are in Cleveland, Ohio. So these kinds of tips that she's given are going to work, for anyone who lives anywhere. But if you are in Cleveland and you want to schedule with Kennedy, I will make sure that you have her information as well. And then again, I want to say thank you to Besame Cosmetics for sponsoring me and partnering with me on the video. And don't forget, if you use my code ALANNA, ALANNA, you can save 25% off on your purchase. Don't forget to like, follow, and all the fun stuff on our social medias. We've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course our website. So thank you again, and we will see you next week.